Hi everyone, it's Rachel here from Boost Education. Just wanted to have a little chat today about planning PD. This is a really important area as a teacher to keep track and evidence your growth as an educator against the AITSL standards. Now, in your beginning years, you guys have so much learning going on that this area is one that's often left alone. It needs a lot of time, but I have found a really cool way to plan it. I've spent hours putting together a planner, okay? It will go step by step by step and show you how to plan your entire year and help you to document your growth as a teacher. The concept is quite daunting, and the planner that I've created actually helps eliminate the stress and anxiety that it can create, and it will give you all the examples that will line up across all of the standards, every single one of them, okay? How you demonstrate the ability of where you're up to will align with the level of proficiency or what level of teaching that you're up to. That plan is available right now. You don't have to wait for the program. The link is underneath the description in this video, so you can go ahead and download that planner. It's only $10 or $12, something like that. It's on Design by Teachers, so feel free to go ahead and grab that. Love some feedback about it. What I do, and the key to a PD planner, as you know, as a teacher, I'm really, really big on planning. This has helped me to keep a more balanced life and keep my inspiration tank full. But I use my PD planning as a tool and used for areas where I feel like I'm lacking. In my early years of teaching, one of the big things was learning different strategies to differentiate the curriculum and be able to do that off the top of my head. So learning teaching strategies and how to implement those is an area that I focus dramatically on. My communication with parents, I found as a young teacher in my early to mid 20s, I found that it's quite difficult to connect with parents that were a lot older than me. I didn't have a lot of relationships at that age in my life where I could have the respect. I grew up in a wonderful household, but I learned to sort of respect my elders and sort of didn't sort of know or have the confidence to be able to stand up and sort of go toe to toe. And as a professional, as a teacher, you need to be able to do that in a professional manner. So my PD focused on, and I had a mentor that did that, on how to build up and how to actually sandwich. There's called a sandwich response. And this is something we'll be discussing inside of our mentoring program, which you can join at any point. Just register your interest over on Boost Education. You'll find out some more information about that. But you can learn how to have a sandwich response. And this is something, it's a strategy, and is instilled in you as a teacher once you learn it. And you'll be able to handle yourself when it comes to conflict, when it comes to parent-teacher interviews, and all those things that you can possibly find daunting. Teaching kids can be fun and you love it. Then when it comes to doing adults, it's like, whoa, out of my comfort zone. And I particularly found it that way. I had a really particular experience that really, really burnt me. So it was a fear. It turned into a fear. So I proactively sought out PD by doing some online learning and reading books on leadership and how to deal with conflict management. So I've actually written a whole blog about it, and I'll pop that blog in underneath this link in the video as well. So that'll help you dealing with parental conflict and just dealing with conflict in general in the classroom. But yeah, as I was saying, I found that when I planned my PD around stuff that I found really confronting in the classroom, that then aligned me with my PD and it made me a better teacher. I found it made me a more effective teacher, and I found myself being more and more confident. And that was evidenced because when my mentor, I would actually communicate with them, and this is what I've done. When they come and did some classroom observations and things, they're like, wow, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm pretty much facing my fears. And we talk about exposure therapy inside our program, our mentoring program for early to beginning teachers. So this is something where you just pretty much jump in, and getting exposed and getting experience in those areas that are tricky is basically how you overcome and turn challenges around and become a more effective teacher. So I hope with the PD planner, the other thing that you can do is you need to look at all the different standards that you need to cover in a certain time length. And I actually used to plan out and highlight and actually then plan it term by term, week by week. And I actually had a complete diary allocated to my PD. So I actually have my PD diary with me, and I used to note down all the different activities, and I had my planner that oversaw all of it. So it's like a one-page planner, and I highlight all the different areas. So I might be looking at 3.7 one week, and I might be looking at 7.2 the next week. And then any PD that was locked in through the school, I made sure that covered off and I didn't double up over in another area. So it's something that you can do at the beginning of each year. You can even just do it at the beginning of each term in your holidays. So it really comes down to planning. You do so much work every day inside your classroom that you have so much evidence over a year, but it's learning how to scale that down. So get yourself a diary, have it completely allocated for you. If you can spend some time, 5 minutes at the end of each day, even if you want to allocate it and make it part of your process on your Fridays, allocate the different things that you've done and your experiences. Inside the planner, you'll see all the aligned activities for each single separate standard, okay? So that will help you to know where and what can be aligned where. And some do cross over, and that's fine, okay? But it's learning how to evidence, taking screenshots, taking photos. In my phone, I actually used to take a lot of screenshots of different activities of the students doing things, recordings, documenting things. So I used to actually take a photo, and inside my photo roll, I actually have my PD folder. So as soon as I take a photo, I go bang and I save it straight to my PD folder. And that is a great tool. Then I can go back straight into my folder, save me scrolling through. I have 4 kids, so I take photos all the times of everything. So I go to my PD folder inside my Photos app, and in the folder is all the things that I do. So if I do that savvy little tip and just do it consistently every time I take a photo, then it's built up for me. And I try to allocate one day in the holidays just for my PD recordings. I print out the photos, I slot it on there. With your PD planner, you can have a link, you'll be able to see in there that I actually show you that you can actually record everything and have an online PD record, or you can put it into a book. So that's something else that I'm working on at the moment. So I hope that's some really savvy tips. Go ahead and download your planner. It is something that we'll be talking a lot more, and we'll be giving you some easy tips. And make sure you give me your feedback, and I'll talk to you soon.